All right, so I want to talk about Colts customer service a little bit. So I guess I'll just start at the beginning. So when I first started messing around with Colts, I bought a new production CR6920, and that gun ran great. I had no issues with it. Shot steel cased, shot brass case, everything, shot great. So then I decided I wanted to get a SOCOM, which is this rifle here. So I bought this rifle, and I immediately I didn't have huge issues with it, but every now and then I would get a fail to lock back on a empty mag. It always fed from the magazine, but it would sometimes not lock open. And I thought that was part of just me not lubing the rifle correctly. I wasn't sure. I kind of always blamed myself. And then I bought this, which you can't really see, but I bought this AR-15A4, turned into an M16A4 clone. And that gun also shot everything, steel case, brass case, the cheapest, dirtiest ammo. Didn't have a problem with it. So I was shooting this for a while, and then I had an issue where I ended up burning out some gas rings, and I swapped that bolt, the AR-15A4 bolt, into this rifle. And when I did that, this rifle was cycling everything. So I was like, okay, I guess I have a bolt issue. So I thought maybe it was, since the gas rings broke, which is another thing, because when the gas rings break on an AR-15, as long as there's still one good gas ring, it should cycle. This gun did not. It only had one broken gas ring, and it would not cycle. So I put new gas rings on, and I went back out shooting, and I was like, all right, cool, this should fix the problem. It didn't fix the problem. It went back to cycling NATO ammo fine, but it wouldn't cycle anything else. Even just cheaper brass case, it wouldn't cycle it. So I was going to just replace the bolt carrier group myself, because I need this gun to be reliable. And a lot of my subscribers were telling me, no, contact Colt. So I called Colt, and they first told me that Colt has a 1-year service agreement, and anything after the 1 year, they will take a look at up to 2 years, but you have to pay for shipping, and then depending on what they find, if it's their fault, they'll fix it, but if it's your fault, you have to pay to fix it. So, and they wanted $100 for shipping, so to ship it to them and for them to ship it back to me was going to be $100. And I was like, so I could potentially have to pay, $300 or $250 for a bolt carrier, maybe even $300, whatever they charged, possibly, depending on what was wrong with it. So I decided, I was like, no, I'm not gonna deal with that. So I ordered the BCM bolt carrier group, and I ended up contacting Colt again to add, because I wanted to re-ask him questions. I talked to the same guy the whole time, and I wanted to ask him questions because I wanted to make sure that I was right before I came on camera and started talking about it. Because he also told me that after the 2 years for AR-15s, they will not fix it. They won't look at it. They don't want it. They won't take it in-house, nothing. So if you shoot 10, 20,000 rounds through your gun and burn out a barrel and want to send it back to Colt and have them put a new barrel and headspace a new bolt in for you, they will not do that, even if you pay for it. After 2 years, they're done with AR-15s, which kind of blows my mind. So you'd have to either do it yourself or send it to someone like Fulton Armory, which they can do it. I was talking to School of the American Rifleman, and I was trying to find out exactly what was wrong with this bolt carrier, so I could, maybe contact Colt and be like, look, this is the problem. Again, they were willing to take the whole rifle back in as long as I paid for it. I wasn't going to pay for it. So, and I knew it was just the carrier, or I should say the bolt carrier group. There was something in the bolt carrier group. So I started talking with School of American Rifleman, and I was asking him what his thoughts were. And I believe he said he needed to, obviously see the bolt carrier group in hand to be able to make an actual determination on what's wrong with it. He also said that he was willing to take a look at it. I could send it to him. and this was before he released the bolt carrier group inspections to the general public. So I decided that I was just going to look over the bolt myself, at least for now, and try to find out what it was. Like I said, I had already ordered a BCM bolt carrier group to substitute it. I was just trying to find out what was making it not work. So while I was doing that, I pulled the AR-15A4 bolt carrier group out, and I pulled that all apart, and I was taking a look at it, and I found that there was actually pitting in the carrier of the A4, of the inside where the chrome is. I found that it was actually pitting. So I was like, wait a minute. We have two, they're not super expensive, but they're decently expensive rifles. I mean, this SOCOM's $1,500, and the AR-15A4 is about $1,000. So I'm like, this ain't right. So I called Colt again, and I was like, listen, now the AR-15A4 bolt has pitting inside the carrier. So to Colt's credit, they did sound concerned. And he's like, okay, send me videos of the AR-15A4 bolt, the pitting. Did not mention the SOCOM at all. They didn't want nothing to do with the SOCOM. So that night I made the video on the deep inspection of the Colt bolt carrier groups, and you can go back and watch that video if you'd like. I made that for two reasons: one, to send to Colt, and two, to send to School of the American Rifle. So I made that video, and I kind of called Colt out in that video, and I also said, listen, I will send both of the rifles back completely, even though I did not want to do that. I said I will send both rifles back. However, Colt has to pay for everything. They got to pay for the shipping, because these both have obvious defects in them, and they are not my problem. It's not my fault. I didn't do anything to them. I just shot them. I sent that video to Colt in an email, along with the pictures that they wanted of that, and I called them out in the email, and I said, listen, you need to fix both of these bolts. I said, these were kind of expensive rifles, and you guys sent some bad bolt carrier groups out, and you guys need to make it right and fix both of them, not just the A4. So the next day, I think in the morning, maybe even in the evening or afternoon, I got an email back from him. Like I said, I talked to the same guy the whole time at Colt. He said, listen, we're going to send you a prepaid label. You send us both bolt carrier groups back, and we'll get you new ones. I was like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. That's what we need. So I sent them that back. Originally, he told me it was about a month-and-a-half turnaround when we were talking about sending the whole rifle back. The second time I called him, he said 2 months. So what actually only took 4 weeks. So that was good. It was less time than what he said. Now, I don't know if they rushed it for me because of the YouTube thing, or if just because I didn't send them the whole rifle, they knew what they were doing with the carriers. Now, they did not send me anything back. They sent me the bolt carrier groups, but they didn't send me any paperwork back as far as what was wrong with the SOCOM carrier, which I was a little disappointed with just because I wanted to know. But it's likely that they just sent me 2 new bolt carrier groups. And they didn't even really look at it. I'm not sure. But the new bolt carrier groups they sent me are fabulous. They actually look way better than the bolt carrier groups that were originally in the rifles. They have strong C marks. They have strong MPC marks on the bolt, and they also have the gold spring extractors in both of the rifles, and I'll put pictures in. So in the end, Colt did do the right thing and replace both bolts. However, I had to send them a YouTube video. I had to do a bunch of stuff to get them to do that. And I'm sure, well, I'm not sure if they're looking at my channel or not now, but I'm sure that they watched the other videos that I posted on testing the carriers out. But I don't think that you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to have a YouTube channel. You shouldn't have to go through those steps to get parts replaced. Now, to be fair, on Colt's favor, they did test fire both these rifles. I'm sure they shot like 10, 20 rounds, and you're not going to see the failures that I saw in this rifle in 10 to 20 rounds. It's going to take longer than that. And as far as that one, that's kind of my fault too, because when I got the rifle, I should have pulled the bolt apart and inspected the inside. I didn't, of the carrier. that's on me. I will make sure that I do that from now on with every AR-15 or bolt carrier group that I order. How much can we expect these companies to offer lifetime warranties? So I started looking into it, and I'm going to post a picture here, and that's all the AR-15 manufacturers that offer lifetime warranties, at least to the original purchaser. Heck, Sons of Liberty Gunworks says that if you use their rifle in a shooting, he will lend you another rifle. They'll lend you another rifle. And I've also seen BCM take care of some bolt issues years down the road as well. So if all these other AR-15 manufacturers are offering a limited lifetime warranty, you know, it's kind of hard for me to come on camera and say you should definitely buy Colt, even though I do agree with Colt. I mean, I do agree with buying Colt. I really like Colt rifles still. But, you know, I mean, maybe you'd be better off buying a BCM or Sons of Liberty Gunworks and getting that lifetime warranty. You know, then again, ask everyone that bought an IO Inc. AK how their lifetime warranty panned out. So there's that as well. But anyways, I would like to I'm hoping somebody from Colt sees this and says, hey, you know, maybe we should up our warranty. I believe SIG just upped their warranty. I think they had a 5-year warranty. I was told that they just upped their warranty to something. I'm not sure what it is. But I think Colt should have at least a 5-year warranty. Because you can't expect most guys buy a rifle, they go out and zero it, and they may not touch it again for another year or two. They go back out, shoot it again, they're having problems with it, and it's after the 2 years, they call Colt. Colt's like, yeah, we want nothing to do with it, man. Sorry about your luck. That's unacceptable. So, I want to talk a little bit about School of the American Rifle. So he posted this post on Facebook, I think it was like a month ago, in response to some of the comments that I was getting on my channel or my video on Colt. And he basically is saying that a lot of people poo Colt for their QC and stuff. But according to him, they get a lot more right than they get wrong. He also told me that Microbest, I think within the last year, maybe 2 years, was putting out some not so great bolt carrier groups. So I'm sure that's what were in these 2 rifles. Just a bad bolt from, you know, Microbest. It's not the end of the world. I don't hold it against Colt. However, I do think Colt needs to step it up. And if they get a call and they, you know, give them the serial number, and if it's within the range of whenever Microbest was putting the bad bolts out, you know, maybe just replace it. Send it in. We'll give you a replacement. It's really not a big deal. And I don't think Colt should have made it quite the hassle that they made it for me. But maybe we can get some change going here with Colt, because I do like Colt. I think they make good firearms. I think that they should back it up with a better warranty, though. But that was one of the good things that came out of this. I was actually able to speak directly with Small Arms Solutions and the School of the American Rifleman. That's pretty cool. They're both 2 of my favorite YouTube channels. I've watched a ton of Small Arms Solutions. Actually, most of the knowledge that I have on the M4 and Colts come from him. He has a couple hour-long videos that I've watched, but several times. But he told me, Chris from Small Arms Solutions told me that back in the day, Colt had the pin gauges. They had a whole table set up with pin gauges, and they pin gauged each bolt carrier group. And these kinds of things didn't happen back in the day from Colt, because from what School of the American Rifleman and Small Arms Solutions, what we kind of all guessed might have been the issue was there was a tolerance stacking issue between the bolt and the carrier. Because when I separated the bolt and the carrier and I married them with different bolts and different carriers, they worked. But together, they did not work. So that's interesting, and that's, if he said that he actually has pictures in his book Black Rifle 2 of the pin gauges set up at Colt from, I guess, when he worked there, or, you know, when they had big military contracts. So that being said, I don't think current Colt is any less quality. I do think that they could step up their QC a little bit better. I do know BCM has a video out there of their actual QC process. I mean, they're in there with microscopes, and they have like an air gauge. They're testing everything. I don't know if Colt's doing that or not. But BCM definitely is. I mean, they got videos out there of that. So that's pretty cool. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you know somebody that works at Colt, please send them this video. I'm not trying to talk crap on Colt at all. I have 2 of the rifles, and I wouldn't hesitate to buy another one. You could probably buy 100 Colt rifles and never see those bolt problems again. Um, it is what it is. Everyone puts out a lemon. I've gotten lemons from PSA. You know, just about everyone I've ordered a gun from has sent me some kind of lemon at some point. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good day.